It's the Texas weather discussion video for Wednesday, the 20th of February. I'm Donovan Neal. After a nice soaking rain for much of yesterday, we'll be drying out with some sunshine returning later today. Our next biggest chance of rain doesn't arrive until Friday and Saturday, and it looks like a good chunk of next week will be mostly dry. So, here's the upper air look across the continental United States. You can see we have that cold core trough in the mountainous regions, and basically a high pressure in the Bahamas, creating a southwest flow aloft, and we're basically going to hold that pattern with that upper high in the Bahamas. With that, basically, we're not going anywhere with this. Temperatures earlier this morning, the highs for DFW mostly in the mid to upper 30s across the metroplex, pretty much in the mid to upper 30s for much of the region actually. And in wake of the warm front, we'll be mostly dry today, with mixing sun and clouds. Highs mostly in the upper 50s, and I don't think we'll reach the 60s today. We should stay in the upper 50s. It'll still feel very good. Around the nation, much of the coldest air still in the mountainous regions, up towards Montana and Wyoming, and parts of Colorado, and even parts of the Dakotas as well. Around the watch warning map, lots of winter weather issues going on across the United States. Winter storm warnings for parts of Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and parts of Nevada. Winter storm warnings for parts of the West Coast and Washington, Oregon, and parts of Idaho. Winter storm warnings for parts of the Midwest, including parts of Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and parts of Minnesota, and parts of Wisconsin and Iowa, and also some winter storm warnings for parts of the West Virginia, and parts of North Carolina, and also into Maryland and Pennsylvania. And down here closer to the south, we have some flash flood watches in effect for parts of for the northern 2/3 of Mississippi, Alabama, and much of Tennessee and Kentucky, and even parts of West Virginia. But down here in Texas, we remain pretty quiet. On the convective outlooks, we have a localized area of a slight risk of severe storms for areas near Jackson, Mississippi. But down here in Texas, we remain quiet. Day 2, which is tomorrow, we could see maybe one or two, we maybe see a few thunder for parts of this shaded area in green, but no organized severe weather is expected. And on day 3, which is Friday, we have a marginal risk of severe storms, which basically includes areas along and east of I-35 and extends all the way towards the deep south. Includes places like the immediate Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex, includes places like Arlington, Mansfield, Plano, McKinney, and also points out to the east. And we'll talk about this. And of course, with this low Cape event, it doesn't take much instability to get severe storms going. We'll explain that in a minute. And of course, the day to watch is Saturday. This is our day 4 outlook. Includes much of the Mississippi River Valley and some parts of the lower Ohio Valley. Includes parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Kentucky, Tennessee, and parts of Arkansas and some of those adjacent states. And this is shaping up to be more of a damaging wind. Large hail and tornado threat, more of a linear threat, but we'll explain that here in just a second. Precipitation for the next 7 days, additional precipitation for the next 7 days. Heaviest totals remain off to the east as always, and down here we could pick up an additional half inch of rain for much of North Texas later this week. And again, that's anything that we see Friday and Saturday. So let's go on to check out the model output. This is the 06Z run the GFS file this afternoon at noon. You can see we have that trough. That extended trough extending to the central United States. And down here, like I said before, we'll stay dry. Rain pushes off to the east. Highs will be in the upper 50s with a mix of sun and clouds. Thursday, another warm front starts to move to the north. Pretty much starts to move to the north. With that, it'll pull some moisture from the Gulf. So we'll mention it'll be mostly cloudy day tomorrow. Highs mostly in the mid 50s, and I wouldn't be surprised if we squeezed out a few showers. And on Friday, that moisture basically infiltrates our area. Again, scattered showers and maybe some thunderstorms mixed in by the afternoon hours. Highs will be in the upper 50s again today, again on Friday. And I think the best chance of a spot getting wet is in the 50-50 category at this point. And here's the surface-based Cape Saturday, early Saturday morning, and you can see maximum Cape values under 1,000 joules per kilogram for most places in North Texas. But keep in mind, it doesn't take much instability to get some severe storms going. I think anything that we see overnight will most likely pose a severe wind slash severe wind slash hail threat. No, not much on the side of a tornado threat, but just a marginal risk of some few severe storms. And here's Saturday afternoon. Once that activity pushes out, 992 millibar low strengthens in Kansas, and produces some severe storms overnight into parts of the deep south and the lower Mississippi and the lower Ohio valleys. But down here, once all that clears on Saturday, we should be mostly dry. Highs in the upper 60s with that warm front. And on Sunday, we definitely start to clear out with mostly sunny skies, highs in the low 60s. And here's Monday of next week, pretty much the same deal. Highs partly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. Same thing on Tuesday. And a week from today, Wednesday, the 27th of February, beginning to the end of this month, zonal flow here and down here, and down here that looks relatively dry, but we could see a few showers at times. Here's the end of the 10-day forecast period, Saturday the 2nd of March. You can see we still have that zonal flow, and down here we still stay dry with that high pressure. But you can see for the numbers for the next 15 days coming off the European ensemble, temperatures mostly fairly consistent. The highs will mostly stay in the 50s to 60s for the end of this month until early March, with lows mostly staying above freezing for the most part. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. I have more notes in a blog. The next video here is expected to be posted at around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you can catch local TV stations on the air this afternoon at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and Godspeed.